The campfire crackled, with green flames flickering against the dark night of the wasteland. The three figures sat in a rough semicircle, their weapons close at hand. Gorn stood, the glow casting a long shadow behind him, his red eyes unreadable. You think survival's a matter of trust? A man can trust in the kindness of others. He can trust in laws, in fate, in the illusion that fairness has weight in a world that does not acknowledge it. But the world does not care. It lets men believe in these things because it is easier to consume the hopeful than it is to hunt the careful. He kicked a loose ember, watching as it sputtered and faded. I was dying, same as any beast who fails to finish the hunt. I was found by farmers who took me in and wrapped my wounds. They spoke of mercy and decency, as if those words held power in a land where men are eaten by things older than their morals. Agua, breaking the silence, asked, "So, we can't even trust the doves like in that old town, Gridlock?" "You can trust them to kneel before the inevitable," Gorn replied. "You can trust them to hold on to hope as tightly as you hold your gun. But when you get stuck through a disaster of events, like a tornado heading your way, when the room collapses, when the exits are gone, when food starts to become scarce, when the air grows thin and the bellies start to empty, you will find that men of hope and men of hunger hope for the same miracle. And that miracle does not answer. So you follow the rules of survival. That gives you the key. It took days, maybe even months, after the storm had done its damage until I got out of that house with only my gear. But I alone was the only survivor that made it out alive." "What key?" Agua asked, his curiosity piqued. "The only key that matters, the key to necessity. You do what must be done, or you wait to be consumed. You kill, or you become the feast. If you follow those rules, your potential will grow in due time." "In due time, hey, whatever you say," Itsuki interjected, a hint of skepticism in his tone. Gorn's gaze sharpened, his voice low and deliberate. "Time is a concept for those who have the luxury to waste it. Mock it, and you may find yourself on the wrong side of necessity." Okay, geez," Itsuki replied, raising his hands in surrender. Agua, still processing Gorn's words, finally asked, "If those farmers in that house didn't make it out, then how did you?" Gorn exhaled slowly, measured, like a man recalling something he never wished to speak of. He let the silence hang, the same way a beast does when the den grows too small. When there is no food, the body looks elsewhere. The flesh is flesh, and the flesh does not mourn itself. Itsuki's eyes widened in shock. "You ate them? The very people who took you in? They were dead the moment that room sealed. I simply made use of what remained. I did not weep for them. They would not have wept for me. Sentiment is a coffin built before its uses are ready." Agua stared into the fire, his mind churning with the weight of Gorn's words, saying nothing. Itsuki chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief. "Hey, how interesting. So how did you get out anyway?" A pause followed before Gorn smirked, faint but unmistakable. "The walls were not as strong as they seemed, and neither were the bones." Agua grimaced, his voice bitter. "Gotcha." The fire crackled, and the silence stretched between them, a quiet understanding settling in. Agua stared into the wasteland, the weight of survival pressing against his thoughts. Itsuki leaned back, fingers resting on his sword, lost in contemplation of what he might do in such a place at such a moment. Gorn, as always, watched them both. He did not judge, nor expect judgment. He simply existed, Another dawn approached. Another night would fall, and the world would continue as it always had, unforgiving